discussion, I'm gonna,
We gotta mute them. This is-
Yeah. hang on. That's Sherry. I'm gonna turn the meeting over to Piero to explain about the proposed budget. So if we could have the audience remain quiet on Zoom, please.
You sent out another budget from Southern Shores Management and yourself a few days ago.
Yes,
was
that's
a
the revised proposed budget.
What about the meeting minutes? Don't you meet I thought the agenda said meeting minutes first.
Right.
So
No, there's nothing about meeting minutes on here.
No, this one just says call to order, roll call, proof of notice, review of budget.
Are you hiding them? You don't want to talk about how the,
So you
No.
mentioned the budget that was mailed out on the 11th of November, or no, sorry, in November. But
The
what
proof
you're,
of notice,
what you want to review is the budget that was sent out a few days ago.
yes, because
The
that's the
second
updated one.
The
Mhm.
update.
It's
And I will
revised.
go through all that.
Yeah.
Why
I
was
mean,
it
if
up?
you guys let me do it, we can do it the right way. I can start from the beginning, go through it, see the changes and why. And my notes that I made for this will be sent to each and every one after, so it's no secret.
I just have one question.
Yes,
If the first budget that we received, the first proposed budget,
yes,
was the budget that was going to be approved
No, it
and
was,
passed?
wait.
No, no.
Excuse- Can I,
Mhm.
please finish? Why did we then get a second one with, that is so inflated?
Very good question, and I'll answer it. No problem. The first budget, I thought that we could defer the major expenses, which is the roof, the 400 and whatever thousand.
Wait, there's a communication breakdown here. You talked, what does that mean?
he
thought?
thought,
Thought, okay, I'm
I-
sorry.
I thought that that budget was correct until that budget was sent to our attorney for review. Because the budget, I had to make sure that it was legally compliant.
Why would you send it to us?
Because I just said, to be legally compliant.
because it's the mandatory
It's a
reserve.
mandatory reserve, that's all
No,
that.
I understand
I
that,
don't
but
act
why
on my
would you,
own.
why would you send it to us prior to that, to having it approved by our attorney?
Because that was the normal due
November.
process that I thought I could follow and,
You
Do-
thought. Okay,
can I
Okay.
finish?
yes,
Okay, so you're done? I'm just asking a nice way.
We're
If you have finished your
conversing.
sentence, then I'll
we're just
reply.
conversing, yes, I'm
Okay, so
done,
you're completed with your question.
we're conversing, yes.
Thank you. Okay. The first budget that was made and was sent to you was when I thought that it was according to Florida laws. Okay, so I deferred the amounts, splitting them up over 2 years, so that we would not have to come up with huge amounts. Okay, so I deferred them to find out that Florida law now mandates that any expenditure over $25,000 cannot be deferred unless the money is approved, meaning received on deposit, or a loan is made in lieu of it, not a line of credit. Line of credit is basically an unsecured loan for a short term. We have a $250,000 that we would just renew in, I believe July or August, okay? It's sitting there. But the state does not allow us to use that as a buffer for behind this, money they were supposed to.
What statute are you talking about? If we say Florida law, what statute specifically?
No, we can, the law that was changed.
It was covered in that.
Okay, because I just want to speak about the letter that I received and how this is a rush. This is the third year in a row where it's a rush. And it seems like it's a cookie cutter letter because a year ago,
Wait.
I sent out a vote to opt out of 718.122, the very statute that is making this great emergency and that you're using, that you're weaponizing, okay? Number one. Number two, Friedman is a co-conspirator, okay? In a long chain of events.
No, let him talk for a while and then we stop.
Allow him to finish.
Okay? We have, Candace, you, title fraud, forging documents. The book, this is a fact. This is a provable fact, Candace. No, you just said, let me finish, didn't you? So shut up.
I will let you finish.
Okay.
As long as you stay professional.
I'm staying professional until you weasel your way in. Now let me finish.
Okay.
Okay? So you merged two units. Okay? That's a material alteration. You can't do that. Okay? That's embedded in our declaration. You can't change the exhibit that's on page 99 and 100 that delineates each and every unit. I am calling this an official conspiracy to reconfigure units and to take ownership of the building by blocks of investors, okay? And it's self-evident in the 2011 declaration signed by Mark Friedman. There was, 2011, May and November. Then you had Mullen Gardner, he signed one. All of a sudden, he dropped off, and we had only Mark Friedman, who I am calling you. We can't use him as an attorney. He is a co-conspirator. He said he passed in the declaration. He took out an audit. Okay, it was mandatory. Now it's discretionary, and it just so happens that the accounting company quits, and he has this falling out, and there's like 290 grand missing after Friedman put in language to indemnify the board, the management company, and the accounting company, and we have to pay the legal fees. So basically, this conspiracy was enabled by the declaration changes that don't work in the benefit of the people. In 2013, we were hoodwinked into thinking that declaration was going to protect us from a block of investors, and what it did was it allowed the entry of single-family trust. And you could tell by the titles, okay? He is an investigator. We've looked at every title and every permit, and we have at least 30 felony counts on you, Candace, okay? You've broken the law, and you should not be sitting there, and part of the conspiracy is it's all documented in what Friedman did, and Friedman is the one who changed the voting regulations to minimize from 77 from 3/4 to 66%. He changed the manner and the time that we vote in the First Amendment, and he's the person counting the votes, and he's getting a $2,000 a month retainer, and he's engaged in bad faith litigation. You have the Westein's units. The titles, they don't line up with our declaration. 307, 308, 103, 104. Okay, all these units, Margot's, they're all combined illegally. The titles are clouded and crimes have been committed. And I'm letting you know that Mark Friedman and you are defendants in litigation.
Okay,
So,
good.
And
Now, your answer.
First of all, when I purchased in here in 1996, 307, 308 was already an open one living space, but it's 2 units on the association. It has been from the day I owned in here. The same thing with 214 and 215. The same thing. It's one living space for the county, but it's 2
can't have
units.
it both ways.
It doesn't.
You have to go to the declaration. If you do it legally,
Jeff,
sir.
you had your time, hold on.
So
under what authority does it not have to go?
Now,
Jeff, you can't
will
interrupt.
you just
Just
be
let it
quiet,
go.
please?
No, but you're feeding false
Oh,
information.
we allowed
Back,
you
I
to
gave you
speak.
statutes. You give me statutes.
I said that the precedent had been set by the prior board.
Monkey see, monkey do. It does not work.
If you continue with that, it's not gonna go on. She has the right to answer your question, and you have the right to stay silent until she finishes, just like you did.
And everything was approved, everything was by permit, and everything was approved by the town of Gulfstream, and it was approved by the Delray, because at that time, they were the
Mm-hmm.
people for permits, building department. And Palm Beach County also had an advisement of that. The association membership did not change. It's still, I'm paying for 2 one-bedroom units, and it is not a common area change. It is an interior living space. I removed the wall, had an engineer, give the blessing on it and everything like that I could do that. The same thing, the
That is-
307, 308 was extremely long ago. It was already in place. The same thing like you were saying, that the
Okay.
aluminum awnings that I put them in place. No, they were here when I purchased, I've got pictures of it.
That's the
That
final
was
answer
part
on
of
that?
Well, just so for the record, they'll be recorded, right? Okay, for the record, this is the first I hear. And I can guarantee that there is no conspiracy on my end, because I have no idea what you guys, I do now, but I have no idea what you guys were talking about.
It's knowingly done and willfully done by Friedman.
However, it was done way before I was even around here, years before I was here.
It's prima facie evidence. You can't,
Okay,
it's
I'm not
irrefutable.
disputing the evidence, I'm stating a fact. I, Piero Orsi, had no idea of what you two are talking about until now. So, I am not conspiracy into anything. As to using the attorney, because that's the only attorney record I know of, and that's who we've been talking to, okay? That's the attorney for the GSOA. What am I gonna do, find another attorney?
Yeah.
Of course not.
Of course, why not?
I can't, not on my own, not on my own. If
Why are we
you
paying $2,000 a month to conceal fraud?
We are
First of all, let me tell you something. This $2,000 a month, it was what I found on the books when I became the treasurer. 2,400 to be exact. 2,400 was used this year in February just for the voting, the election process.
Can I just?
And, hold on, please.
I just wanna
I will get back
clarify,
to you. I will
it's
get back to you.
2,400 annually, not monthly, annually.
You
That's
find
what
an
was
attorney that
budgeted.
does that for 2,400 annually, let's say, let's move over right away. Because there is no attorney that is gonna do all this. Let me tell you what it is.
It
Facts.
states it
Carol,
right
Carol
here.
is
Wait,
talking
wait,
about the
wait,
annual
hold
fee.
on, please.
That's correct.
September invoice from Mark Freeman, 7,800
Sure,
was just paid.
but what,
Okay?
what
Yeah,
did,
wait, I broke it all down,
2025 budget?
18
What was
point
the
3, 18, forget the
2025
budget,
budget?
18.3 hours. If you wanna just continue and coming up with stories, you wanna know the facts, I'll give
Not
them to you.
stories, you put them on- you put
18.3
them on
hours for the
paper.
month of August to get to the billing cycle of September. Whatever their billing cycle are, we can figure it out, okay? 7,800. There is nothing you can do. People call them. Yesterday, all these emails that go out to them, I found, I was flying here yesterday for this meeting. And when I got off the plane, around 1:30, I see all these messages from people living in
Wait, you flew here from where?
from Chicago.
Chicago. So you do business from Chicago with board?
Mark
I
Friedman
don't
won't
do
take
business for
phone
Chicago.
calls.
Do you take phone calls and emails from when you're home in Chicago?
Jeff,
You mail your checks. Do you make payments? Do you talk to
I
Kansas?
don't make payments, it's all automatic. I never made a payment.
But you're in Chicago.
Jeff, that doesn't, it's not.
No, it does matter. It matters for federal claim. And now you know of the conspiracy.
Jeff?
You have to seriously evaluate the declarations and ask yourself how that helped the owners at the time.
I have plenty of attorneys that can counsel me. I don't know them down here, but I got plenty down there. I have not been under a bush for prior years of my life. Always self-employed. I know exactly what it is and paying out of pocket. All I'm saying here, that the legal fees, the way they've been going, they cannot be sustained. We are at about over 20,000 in 3 months, and the 3 months do not include December.
Yes, and he's defending ultra-virus acts.
Wait. Every time you guys copy him, whoever sends it and they've been planning,
You're adding to the bill.
he's gonna read them, $475 an hour, and he reads them. Now, he does not answer anybody unless it's something that really he feels he has to
You
do.
have
I don't
to-
know.
You
Okay,
have to
so,
use some prudence in employing an attorney.
I did not employ anybody. All I know is what I
Well,
found.
we
Well,
do as a
unfortunately,
board.
we have owners that are emailing him,
Stop.
and he will read it.
No,
Okay.
So,
No,
You
I would like to go back to address
Excuse
the
me,
question
please?
that Carol Ann
have to be
asked.
prudent
And Carol Ann asked why there was a change in the budget. And the answer is that we were under the impression, based on the reserves class, that we could defer some of the larger, mandatory reserves. We found out that was not true, and that's why we sent through a revision. And it is not what is the set budget, it's
That's
what,
proposed, they can have
it's
it up for
what the
grabs.
board has to vote
And to
on.
your point, Jeff, which was well taken, to your point, there is no rush, there is no conspiracy, there is nothing.
No, there's a conspiracy.
What?
How do you can't say that?
Please,
Well,
please.
You just said you have no idea about it. You said there's no
Just
conspiracy.
I don't know.
Words matter.
About the union, the two units
Well-
we put together, I have no idea.
Well,
about that.
second, the other thing is the letter that you sent from the board. No one signed it. It came from an anonymous email address. okay? And it's in falsehoods because we had the opportunity to vote on 718.122 to opt out, and PJ, this man over here, said it was a fraudulent ballot and that it's short-term and nearsighted. The exact words from this man, who was a board member, said that this is short-term and nearsighted. So that form letter that was sent, that wasn't signed by any of you from an anonymous email, that broadens the conspiracy now to our management company, who miraculously is covered based on the declaration change, paragraph 15 and 16, that Friedman put into place, who is now the beneficiary of $18,000 in billing, or whatever number you just said. And this is how conspiracies work. You have to wake up. And Candace, I sent you every statute, so you can't tell me that monkey see, monkey do is your response to my claims that you have a fraudulent title, that you've committed tax fraud on your homestead, and you've submitted fraudulent documents, and you know that any of those units should be in the declaration if you're going to merge them, because they do not align with Exhibit B, page 99 and 100 of the original deck. That is prima facie facts. Monkey see, monkey do is not a defense.
We got that, Jeff.
All right, now can we talk about the budget?
No, because it's fraudulent. You're a criminal. He doesn't know what's going on. He's out of state. Sherry's the
Well, hold on.
freaking. Sherry's never here. You block Kate out. She has no input.
Hold on.
The whole board is fraudulent, void ab initio.
Everyone stop. Decorum. Thank you. Piero did admit he had no idea of what preceded him.
Preceded me as to the merging of units.
Exactly.
In 2011.
Exactly.
I was far from
So
here in 2011.
I'm clarifying that for
Sure.
everybody. He had no idea. So can we really approve a budget that you didn't have any idea on?
You aren't approving it.
2011, we're
I
talking
know
about 2026.
I didn't say me.
Look,
I said
if
we.
we're gonna talk about the budget, let's just start. Now, there are two budgets. There's one that was sent out in November to
And
the
I know
owners.
two budget is one budget.
Well, just stop, please.
Allow her to speak, please.
In November, one was sent out to the owners, and that was the one that they sort of had time to be with and scrutinize. And then another one was sent out 2 to 3 days ago. It did change dramatically. I had questions on the original one that still hold true. I still do have these questions because that hasn't changed. But we can also address the changes. Again, we're at the end of our fiscal cycle, I would assume. And I don't appreciate that things have not been addressed sooner. We've only had a few days with this new revised budget, but that said, let's just go over at least the bullet points that I have and I would like addressed. We might as
Hold
well.
on, please hold.
let
I'll
him go
present
through
the budget and
Yeah.
we'll get to your question. Let's get that.
I just want to get one thing on the record. You didn't go over the
Yeah.
meeting minutes. You did not go over the meeting minutes. And do you really think Tyler Arscott bought that and it wasn't a straw purchase that was all flipped by the person who owned 410? Do you understand? I mean,
Yeah.
like realistically.
You're
No,
You're
realistically.
missing something.
Oh, just realistically.
You're missing something. You keep talking about the other owner meeting minutes. That's the special owner meeting in February. That
Listen,
isn't this
you're
meeting.
spinning
This
common
meeting
sense. Common sense. Did
this
you really
meeting
think
is
that
the
it
budget
wasn't a
meeting.
straw purchase? Like, seriously.
Jeff, allow Kate to finish, please.
Piero is saying that he doesn't care to take questions.
At this
I
point,
take questions,
Piero,
but we
I
can't
think
go
you'll
back
cover
there.
I
it.
do believe that
You'll
her,
cover it.
her questions are pertinent to you reviewing the budget with us.
Well, look,
let him
look,
explain.
I received that
No,
also.
she
Okay.
has to ask you questions prior to
And
this.
she,
The questions are related to what I found hanging on my door when I got here at 2 o'clock yesterday, 2:30. And strange enough, I came out of the car and I saw you coming by the elevator because I had to carry my carry-on up there, okay?
Okay.
Remember, Kate?
All right, so
You
you're
say
gonna
hi, I
answer
say hi.
this
That's
for
when I
us.
was coming in.
Okay,
I went up there to open my door and this was hanging on my door. So I imagine everybody got one, okay? And
so
this
you're
is
gonna
your email.
answer this, that's
And
my,
with the
that's my
questions.
point.
And I'm prepared to address these if you wanna do it right away so we
Yes,
get them out. I'm
please.
not arguing anything.
Thank
You made
you.
your points here, Kate, very clear, right there, they're here. Okay, so let's go, 1, 2, 3. First of all, $147,557.09, it stated operating cash amount. What is that? It's general operating, okay? And it's pretty common, I mean a lot of things like this, and usually 3 months is
That's
about
not,
the.
but it wasn't reflected in the.
Of course it's reflected, if you look at the
Where?
financial statement, it's on the middle of the first page, right there. It tells you exactly what you stated here. And that's, I think it's line item
Would
20,000.
you mind showing us? Please?
We need an audit. We need an audit. And
That
Because
doesn't
it
show
shows
in
that
the
we
budget.
do pay
You
for
are
an audit.
reporting.
now you see what Mark Friedman did? There's no audit.
It doesn't seem as if we're being.
There you go.
audited.
There's your conspiracy. $20,000. Bill, there's your conspiracy.
We can go nowhere this way.
Yeah, because you're fraudulent. You're a criminal.
Jeff, I'm
You're-
gonna ask you to leave if you don't be quiet. Please,
Okay, all this fraudulent, all this.
It is.
This stuff, all this.
stop it.
Why stop it? I'm telling the truth.
If you have a case, go for it. That's my answer. There's no need to make noise.
No, there is a need to make noise. You're on
No,
notice.
the noise is that stop emailing an attorney to everybody's expenses. You have beef, an attorney cannot talk
Why
to you.
haven't you told anybody that in advance?
In advance of what? We just found out.
Where's the audit? I want the
You
audit.
just found out.
Yeah,
You
I-
just, you're.
We need an audit. This is a shit show.
This is a proposed, and watch you, man.
I'm an anti-money laundering
Yeah,
expert,
this is
okay?
a
I write
professional-
software for it. You're not professional. You're a pansy.
This is a professional.
It's not professional. Look at the statements.
Jeff,
Language.
This is a
listen.
professional environment. Watch your language and behave. Okay?
No, I don't have to behave. You're not my father.
You don't have to
I have a
behave.
gripe.
You don't have to be-
She committed title fraud. We have fraudulent financials that you can't back, that you admitted in the last meeting.
Financial.
No, why did Victory Accounting quit?
Financial. Okay?
Perhaps the operating cash amount, the other assets, and the reserves interest amount.
Okay.
That's not gonna pass an audit.
Have been sort of put into other line
Okay,
items.
here, I
but
give you
they're no
the
longer
exact details.
represented
Please,
on-
let me give you the details.
Well,
Okay? You
But
Audit.
literally, I was
Audit.
just
You
throwing
are-
out the
Audit.
sense.
And
There
this-
is an audit and it's on the website.
It's
It
on
was
the
done, it was a
website.
It's not an audit. It's not an
We are
audit.
not being audited. We're not.
Oh, okay, you asked me a
Look.
question, can I give you the answer, please? Can I give you the
Excuse
exact
me?
numbers?
Shut the
Okay.
fuck up.
Why don't you make an effort to get here? You're a straw member,
You're
and you're a defendant.
Oh, come on, let's not start attacking each other,
Coming
please.
from a board
Please.
member?
Excuse me, why are you making us mute when you are allowed to speak all you want? But those of us who are on the Zoom have been muted. That seems unfair.
Raise your hand. Press the button. Raise your hand.
Jane is
All you have to
controlling
do is raise your hand
the
to
meeting.
We all be muted because when you talk
So
to
she
each other,
has
it
it
feels
in the
bad.
back of the board on her computer.
Someone has to watch the hand raising,
I was-
like our management company that does nothing but take money.
Jane, it's Jane. She
Jesus
stepped
Christ.
outside for a phone call and then she'll be back in. She unmuted you before stepping out. I don't know
Okay.
what her policy is
Okay.
on muting.
Back to your 3 questions.
Yeah.
147, 557.09, operating cash amount is pretty clear. That's what we have in the operating account.
But
And
it's not
usually-
reflected, so here,
It says operating cash
Uh-huh,
amount, it's
uh-huh,
pretty
uh-huh.
clear. The only thing we're missing is the code number that the CPAs use, which I believe is 2000 on that one, okay? So, it's pretty
Hang
good.
on one second. Kate, it wouldn't show on the budget figures, is that what you're asking? If-
Sure is.
why- okay.
because that's what we were given to review. You
Right.
have to
That's
understand,
correct.
Victory
But the
provided
budget-
that at the beginning of
Victory.
every
Yes, it-
statement.
You
Yeah.
But
will
what
also-
you're talking about is on the
Correct.
balance
These
sheet
guys
of
are
the,
idiots. We're all muted.
Correct.
I've just been called an idiot.
correct, and that's.
I was
Thank you.
laughing at
yeah,
that.
that wouldn't
That's
show
very
on the budget.
educated.
This is what the expenses are that we were anticipating, or Piero was
Class.
anticipating.
Oh, yeah,
And
he's,
so,
he's,
Yeah, we were only
it's a
given the budget.
conspiracy, Jesse, and we're fraudulent.
Who is
We're
this?
hiding money.
Stop.
We're hiding money.
Stop, so we were given the budget.
Wait a minute,
We weren't
Sherry.
given that, in what we were given to review, which was the
I
budget.
shouldn't be,
That
oh, I'm
wasn't
not
listed,
muted.
so my
You're not
question
muted,
was,
Sherry, because you're
if
on the
that
board.
was, put into other funds or whether that was still, because that wasn't reflected in the total
Sorry.
of the
Right,
budget we
it-
were
the-
given to review.
It's like the checking account.
Yeah, I get it, but
Okay.
Victory always did provide that, so, all of a sudden, we are looking at a
they
budget to
provide.
review that wasn't consistent with other bookkeeping, and that was not present. So that was one thing that I was curious as to why,
Okay, these
and then why
amounts-
it's not reflected then in
These
the
amounts,
total.
these amounts
No,
are the
amount
tell
of
them
financial
what the other
statement.
ones.
That,
It
wait,
should still
hold
be a
on,
line
hold
item.
on. These amounts are clearly on the financial statement, middle of first page.
On the financial statement.
Yeah, on the
correct.
financial
We're not
statement,
given
they're
that.
there. You can't put everything everywhere. You know, that's-
Well, you do if you have to review
Well,
a budget. so
everybody should,
the-
if you don't see in one place, let's see in the other. But let me tell you what's on the financial, please. 147,557 is pretty normal for a company this size to have 3 months on reserve. So you're thinking about, that's about right, actually maybe 4,000 below that. The 99,314.29 is the assets amount,
Yes, I
which
know.
is 17,537 is in account receivable, late pays that haven't paid yet, at the time that the thing was made. Case closed, we know what that is. Now, the next one is 80,827.29, which is prepaid insurance, meaning we reserve for the payment, but we don't pay until the bill is presented. So it's money in there,
That's not the case usually.
the bank account. And then
That's not the
there is
case. That's when you
900
prepay a policy.
And then there is
That's
900
wrong. That's wrong. That's currently not sound, what he just said.
And then there is 950,000 prepaid expenses. These three amounts add up exactly to 99,314.29. You want me to repeat it? First number, account receivable, late pays, at that time uncollected, $17,537. 17,537.00. The next one is the prepaid insurance, 80,827.29, and $950 for prepaid expenses. Those are your three totals. That's it. And then
That all should
the
be
reserve
included in
interest
the
amount,
total.
again, it is pretty clear. What is it? It's interest earned on our money on deposit between reserves and other gen ops and so forth. All of that have brought up so far as of October statement, almost, 43,386.
So there are other items, and again, we didn't have this to review, it was not present, which is why I asked, where is this? Nothing more
Okay, you
than.
repeat the same
I-
thing,
I-
and I repeat
No,
the same
no,
thing,
no.
I can answer the same
You
thing.
know, there are a number of line items that jumped up excessively.
And I'm
and-
covering
and
those
we
one by
should-
one. I am going to cover those
Yeah.
one by one.
I think
Go
if you hear his
One
presentation.
by one. That's why
I think it'll
I'm
answer.
saying, are we gonna have a budget meeting or what? Please keep in mind, nothing here is rushed. Nothing is, I for one,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
proposed. Proposed.
I'm
We're
in a
not-
rush though, Piero, because we're at the end of our fiscal year. But
The letter made it sound like it was a
Go
rush.
ahead, Piero.
You're freaking